When racists open their mouth, Chris Rock is the first one to shut them up. Like the time, he pointed out that this is the first time in history where white men are getting in trouble for saying the N-word, and racists immediately started complaining how it was unfair that black people could say it. Chris realized that and sarcastically explained that the last time he checked, that was the only advantage he had to being black. If the racists wanted to swap places, Chris was always up for it.
You scream and I'll raise interest rates.
One white guy didn't realize Chris was being sarcastic and got so happy with the proposition that he said the N-word on live TV right in front of Chris. Louis C.K. was talking about how when white people get rich, they get to be rich forever, but when a black person gets rich, it's a countdown to when he's poor again. Chris wasn't a fan of the theory and instantly clocked Louis for always pointing out negative things about his community.
And then all the negative things we think about black people, this...
You're saying I'm an...
Yes, you are the white man I have ever...
But while Chris just took down one person here, his next trap was for all racist white people who wait for movies on famous criminals to see what color the guy was that did the crime. According to the comedian,
I don't know, white people watch the films like, yeah, I bet this is the black guy. Watch. Come in here, honey, come in here, watch this, watch it. See, told you it's a black guy.
Black people, on the other hand, have completely different reactions, where they wish for anything other than more media representation and the racism that will follow it.
Please don't let it be a black guy, please. I want to go to work in peace, please. You go to work the next day, your boss is like, so did you know Wayne Williams?
I don't know about Wayne Williams, but Chris knows Hollywood all too well when it comes to calling out their subtle racism. During his 2016 Oscars monologue, the comic talked about the time he was attending a fundraiser for President Obama, where many celebrities were also present. Unable to rein in his true thoughts, Chris apparently told the president that all the writers, producers, and actors in front of him, all these nice white people, didn't hire black people at all. Oh, fun fact, they're also liberals. And Chris had one more bullet ready to go before moving on.
You're damn right Hollywood's racist, but it ain't the racist that you've grown accustomed to. Hollywood is sorority racist. It's like, we like you, Rhonda, but you're not a Kappa.
Speaking of Hollywood, who can forget Chris roasting Meghan Markle for complaining how racist her new in-laws were? Chris, of course, felt that Meghan probably had insanely high expectations.
It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers? What the is she talking about? She didn't know. It's the royal family. They're the original racists. They invented colonialism. They're the OGs of racism.
Chris went on to joke that not expecting racism from the royal family was like not expecting the Budweiser family to drink. When white people complimented Colin Powell back in the day, Chris exposed what their praise actually sounded like.
Whenever Colin Powell on the news, white people always give him the same compliments. How do you feel about Colin Powell? He speaks so well. He speaks so well. Like that's a compliment. Speak so well is not a compliment, okay? Speak so well is some you say about retarded people that can talk.
And Chris's impression just put the final nail in the coffin of racists.
What do you mean he speaks well? What, did he have a stroke the other day? He's a educated man. How the you expect me to sound? You dirty What are you talking about? He speaks so well. What voice were you looking to come out of his mouth? What the did you expect me to sound like? I'ma drop me a bomb today. I'll be prezzo dead.
These racists resorted to just verbal insults, but Chris went all out on someone who took things physical with one of the greatest legends of all time.
It's been a bad year for my people, the blacks. It's not been a good year. Kamala and Diddy and Jake Paul beating Mike Tyson. What the hell? Who is this Jake Paul?
And Jake Paul got knocked out before he could even box with Chris.
A 27-year-old punching a 60-year-old man in the face? Is this what the white man has reduced himself to? Stop it! Well, who's he gonna fight next? Morgan Freeman?
Pointing out uncomfortable truths is Chris's job as a comedian, and he did the same when he noticed a suspicious pattern in police investigations.
The government hates rap. You know why I say that? Because they don't arrest anybody that kills rappers.
Chris said that when a rapper dies, the police suddenly have no clues, suspects, or really any interest in filling out the paperwork. So his advice for anyone planning to get away with murder was to shoot their victim and tuck a demo tape in the guy's pocket. And Chris wasn't coming to court without bringing his arsenal of evidence. The comedian ran down a list of dead rappers like Biggie, Jam Master Jay, and Tupac. In fact, Tupac got shot on the Las Vegas Strip right after a Mike Tyson fight, leading Chris to wonder just how many witnesses the cops needed to make an arrest in that case. He joked that way more people must have witnessed that incident than people who watched the last episode of Seinfeld. Chris bought a home in 2001 for $3 million, but he doesn't even believe it's his.
I had to make miracles happen to get that house. I had to host the Oscars to get that house. And to this day, I don't even believe it's my house. That's why I keep a bag packed right by the door. Just in case the white people that really own the place show up one day. Time to go, Blackie. Damn, I knew this day would come.
But the biggest surprise came when Chris found out what his neighbor does.
Do you know what the white man that lives next door to me does for a living? He's a f***ing dentist. He ain't the best dentist in the world. He ain't going to the Dental Hall of Fame. He don't get plaques for getting rid of plaque. He's just a yank your tooth out dentist. Do you know what a black dentist would have to do to move into my neighborhood? He'd have to invent teeth.
Chris isn't the only one preparing for white people to come, because his kids also seem to be getting the same training.
I've been getting my kids ready for the white man since they was born, okay? Even before they was born, I've been preparing them for the white man. That's right, in my house, we don't have fire drills, we have whiter drills. So everything in my house that's the color white is either hot, heavy, or sharp.
Even if that training can be a little extreme.
They sit on a white toilet seat, burn their ass. Daddy, my ass is burning. It's white, motherfucker. It's white. That's what whitey do. He burn your Pay attention!
While Chris hasn't failed in roasting his own racism, there was one time he almost failed community college.
So I was in community college, I'm in there. Figure, let me take some shit I know. So I took a black history class. I gotta know this, right? I'm black, right? I get a B just for showing up, right? Wrong. Failed it. Ain't that some sad shit? A black man fell in black history. Failed black history. Why? Because I didn't know about Africa.
But let's give Chris some space, because you can't pass a subject your school doesn't even teach right.
I didn't know nothing in school. All I knew was Martin Luther King. That's all they ever teach you in school about black people. Martin Luther King. That's my answer to everything. Martin Luther King. And what's the capital of Zaire? Martin Luther King. Could you tell us the name of the woman that would not leave her seat on the bus? Ooh, that's hard. You sure it was a woman? Oh, I got it. Martin Luther King.
Speaking of high school, Chris had some choice words for the white kids who had taken up the most messed up extracurricular activities.
What the hell is wrong with these white kids shooting up the school? They don't even wait till 3 o'clock either. No one would play with us. We had no friends in the trench coat mafia. Hey, I saw the yearbook picture. It was 6 of them. I ain't have 6 friends in high school.
When principals began urging Chris to set them on the right path, Chris refused to come without a bulletproof vest.
I got people telling me, come on, Chris, come up to a school, talk to the kids. I'm like, f the kids. And everybody want to know what the kids was listening to. And what kind of music was they listening to? Or what kind of movies was they watching? Who gives a f what they was watching? Whatever happened to crazy?
We all know the NFL was formed in 1920 and stands for the National Football League, but Chris had his own version of how the league started.
Now people go, what happened during slavery that could affect us today? For instance, during slavery, they used to take the biggest, strongest slaves and breed them and try their best to make big, strong super slaves, okay? That's right, and there's evidence of that today, like the NFL, for instance. So NFL stands for f***ing large.
And talking about American sports without mentioning an all-time GOAT is one of the biggest sins you could commit as an American.
We dominate all this shit, okay? Basketball, baseball, football, boxing, track, even golf and tennis. As soon as they make a heated hockey rink, we're gonna take that shit to them. Wait till you see LeBron on some skates. You ain't seen shit yet. He just gonna have one skate chilling. What's up? He ain't even gonna have a stick. He gonna smack the puck with his stick. Ah! Slap shot, bitch!
Ironically, the only thing that got smacked was Chris himself, when he made a joke that Jada Smith didn't really like.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
Chris didn't say anything at the time, but his revenge came 2 months later, when his fellow comedian got attacked as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history.
Was that Will Smith?
When Obama stood for elections in 2008, even Chris thought he couldn't win fair and square.
Like he thinks he can win this thing fair and square. Like he thinks having the most votes is gonna mean something. They will change this whole system on his black overnight. You better ask the Indians about white men and rules. They will change all this with a straight face to me. Hey man, you got the most votes. Too bad you lost.
But for Chris, voting decisions were not that difficult.
Everything's so racial. How many white people are voting? How many working class white people? How many white people over 4'8" are voting for Barack Obama? You know, and the crazy thing is, whenever white people vote for Barack Obama, which is a lot of the time, they go, well, you know, they listened to the issues and they felt Obama spoke to their issues. And whenever black people vote for Barack, they go, well, they black, he black, I guess that's why.
When Obama eventually became president, Chris couldn't believe it, much like his surprise when his fellow black actors got nominated for the Oscars.
All right, welcome to the 77th and last Academy Awards. So great night tonight. We have, 4 black nominees tonight. So great. It's kind of like the Deaf Oscar Jam tonight.
But Chris had a thorn to pick with the movies Hollywood was making on his people.
See, at least they make movies for white people to enjoy. Real movies with plots, with actors, not rappers, with real names, like Catch Me If You Can, like Saving Private Ryan. Black movies don't have real names. You get names like Barbershop. That's not a name, that's just a location. Barbershop, cookout, car wash. They've been making the same movie for 40 years.
Watch how Chris highlights one of the most serious issues in America with his classic humor. He kicked it off by joking that you'd think the cops would occasionally shoot a white kid just to keep up appearances. Like every few months they'd check their tally, realize the numbers were lopsided, and go looking for a token victim. And when they picked one, he figured they'd grab the first white kid they caught singing Cardi B. Unfortunately for the audience, Chris's dark humor wasn't stopping there. Ultimately, what Chris really wanted was equality, the kind where white kids got shot at the exact same rate. He painted the picture of white mothers finally getting their turn on the evening news, standing beside Al Sharpton, demanding justice for some kid named Chad, whose only mistake was coming home from racquetball. The only comedian who has the guts to take shots at Chris is Mike Epps, when he was talking about Chris having no filter.
And went on one of them shows and said, Shucky Ducky needs some jokey wokies. See, that's why Will Smith popped that upside his head.
Come on, man. Are you condoning that behavior?
I ain't condoning it, but I can
But you
see
understand.
how pop him upside his head, because he know how to...
But
that
Chris
nigga
Rock weigh 132 pounds.
But sometimes, Chris doesn't even need to be in the room to roast someone.
He said some shit to me one time.
Huh?
Yeah, that motherfucker walked up to me and said, you can't act rich if you ain't rich. I said, huh? What the hell? At the time, I wasn't rich. I understood what he said, but I'm like...
But you just upset that he said that.
Ferret looking at... I know how I feel about being rich.
Chris is all too versed in the art of disguising insults as compliments. And the best example of this is when he was praising Paul Giamatti at the Oscars.
One of the biggest snubs no one's talking about. My favorite actor in the world is Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti, I believe, is the greatest actor in the world. Think about what Paul Giamatti has done the last couple of years. Last year, he's in 12 Years a Slave, hates black people. This year, he's in Straight Outta Compton, loves black people. Last year, he's whooping Lupita. This year, he's crying at Eazy-E's funeral. Now that's range.
But while shooting at Paul, even Ray Charles got caught in the crossfire.
All you guys get great parts all the time. But what about the black actors? Look at Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is one of the best actors in the world, man. Jamie Foxx, yeah. Jamie Foxx was so good in Ray that they went to the hospital and unplugged the real Ray Charles. It's like, we don't need 2 of these.
But his hardest-hitting set was when Chris roasted white people for inventing stuff that black people catch unnecessary flack for. He pointed out that the white man is the only one who's figured out how to profit from pain. He makes the alcohol, it tastes great, and it ends up killing people every single day. Some of the crowd, he joked, wasn't even going to survive the drive home, wrapping the car around a pole, thinking about how funny he'd been all night. After talking about alcohol, Chris moved on to the second deadliest invention after it.
White man makes cigarettes. Cigarettes the most dangerous product known to man, okay? Kills mother every day. Cigarettes are so dangerous, it kills mother that don't smoke. Could you imagine if the Philip Morris family was a bunch of Jerry curl from Mississippi? Do you know how illegal a pack of cigarettes would be? You would get 60 years for a pack of Newports. But it's all right, because it's all white.
And this just goes to show that Chris isn't scared of going against the world to call out racists.